So this is what you guys call a lunch. Thanks, Dr. Kim. I thought it was going to be a couple of people just kind of hanging out. There's a room of 500. No big deal. No big deal. I'm just an artist. All right. Hard act to follow. Sean, you did great. Like, really amazing. And those of you who know me, a lot of times what I try to do is just stand up here and tell you the truth. Just tell you what I think, tell you what my experience is. That could go on for hours. So I'm going to read this. But when I was watching Sean and admiring and listening, I was looking at the video. And yesterday I was teaching at the University of Washington. And when I finished my class, one of the techs came through and said, "Hey, there's somebody that wants to talk to you. There's some people here to see you." And it was one of the Hilltop kids from the summer. And I didn't remember his name, but I recognized him. And, I just had a moment where I looked at the screen and I was like, oh my God, like this is how it works. You meet somebody and you have an experience with them, and months, years, whenever, they track you down and they feel comfortable enough to walk up in a space that, maybe if I weren't there, they may not have felt that comfortable to be there. And he was just like, "Hey." And I was like, "Hey." And I was already late for my other class. And I was like, you know what, let's take a minute. And so we took 5 minutes and walked around and I showed him the space. And I just said, "Hey, just make sure you come back. I don't have time now, but you belong here. As long as I'm here, you can be here. And if I'm not here, you just tell them that you belong here. It's not a big deal." And so this is really working, you guys. And it's an incredible honor to be here with you today. It's really more beautiful to be here knowing that over the last 3 years, we could not be here together. And the fact that we're here together, and what brought us together is to support the journeys of some really, really, really special young people. When I see Sean and Mackenzie and I hear them talk, I really think about myself. I see myself in them. I am them. I was them. I'm really proud of what you guys have done, and that you're hanging in there and doing it. And I too, just like Mackenzie, never envisioned that I'd be here on stage talking to a room full of people about what I love the most. And it's a real honor to be here. When I got into art, I got into art specifically because I was shy and really introverted. And I thought that art was going to allow me to stand back, put an object in front, and let everyone read that thing and let that object stand in for me. And I thought I'd never really have to stand up on a stage. But making glass is no quiet endeavor. And when you make something worth talking about, folks always want to know why. They want to know how you made it. They want to know the artist. And so those of us who are shy and introverted glass artists, there's only a couple of things that can get us up on stage. One is the opportunity to keep working with glass. And for me, the other is opportunity to support those around us, to get the same opportunities that we had to make a creative life that we have. And so glass to me is so much more than a job or a career. It's really a culture and it's a way of living. I'm not the type that can sit at a desk. And for me, there just weren't a lot of options out there that I was aware of that were a good fit for me. As you can see, I'm fidgeting. Like, this is my natural state, just in constant motion. So the studio really gives me a place to just let the energy out. But when I was a kid and when I was coming through school, I just didn't know about the options that were a good fit. Before glass, I had a hard time finding a motivation and a platform that could focus and hold all the things that I was interested in. Over time, and after becoming an educator, I realized that an incredible amalgamation of things, like what an incredible amalgamation of things glass is. It's mind, it's body, it's spirit, it's love, it's community building and care, and all the things that we wish were more abundant in our society today. If you can make it in the studio, then you're ready for the world in so many ways. And I'm not sure I've ever witnessed a more effective tool for bringing people together and teaching us how to build and maintain, and most importantly, repair relationships. We all know that there are moments of conflict, and when you're in the studio, things are bound to go wrong. It's a chaotic environment, and they're just going to go bad. And what Glass has really taught me is how to hang in there with people and to make sure that I spend time and invest in my relationships and I don't let the bad things go on. You go ahead and you hang in there, you do the hard work of repairing, because that really equates to what your potential is going forward. And that's a lesson that really the studio holds. And it held for me, it holds for other people, and I can see it every day. It's hot, it's stressful, things are gonna go bad, but knowing that you need the people next to you really is the catalyst for like making you feel like you have to repair. And it's a really big deal. Success in the glass field means that you're someone willing and capable of cultivating relationships that inspire those around you to jump in and to support the work you do. When you see complex patterns and refined execution, know that you're witnessing human connection and the exchange of not just information, but love, care, support, mutual aid, and continuous pursuit, that it's never a solitary one. This is why integrating glass into the lives of youth who are trying to figure things out is so important. As alluring as a studio can be, it also is chaos. It's intimidating. And for so many people, it's the most foreign place one can imagine. But despite the adversity, the motivation to build and maintain strong networks are often greater than the urge to quit. The culture of support means that there are often folks around you, like the staff and mentors of Hilltop Artists, encouraging you to keep going and inviting you back again and again. A relationship with glass requires a plan, clear communication, focus, patience, and resilience. It's easy to feel discouraged and even easier to feel like you don't belong. But those of us who make it through often tend to loop back to prop doors open for younger generations, letting them know that this space is for them too. It's a miracle that I found glass, and now I'm 100% committed to making miracles a common occurrence. When I stand back and see how much Sean and Mackenzie have grown in just a few months since I saw them last, I know that what happened to me is also happening to them. They've discovered something that gets them going, that keeps them up at night, and that motivates them not just to build strong relationships, but to maintain them. I've been working in glass for 25 years. My most recent job was as executive director of public glass in San Francisco. I met Dr. Kim at the beginning of the pandemic. We were all struggling to figure out how to keep our organizations going. And in that time, I really learned so much about all the work that Hilltop has done, all the people that it supports. But beyond that, in our field, Hilltop is legendary. And I just can't believe that I'm here helping keep this thing going and supporting the organization. Because I now don't have my own organization to support. It's like it's a dream. This is how I want to live my life. I want to teach, and I want to travel, and I want to work with people like Sean and Mackenzie, and I want to stand up on stage and really support organizations that do this type of work. I definitely wouldn't be the person that I am today without organizations like this, without people supporting me, without having people hold doors open for me. I've shut doors on my own face. I've made mistakes, and there are people that come back and support time and time and time again. And those of you in this room, this is lunch, this isn't dinner. There are other places that you could be today. I know that everybody has something else that they could be doing, and I'm truly moved that this room is full. I can't believe it, and it's really incredible. And yeah. Thank you. So the last 3 years, 4 years have been really hard. Along with pandemic, we've gone through movements for social justice. There's been a lot going on in the world. There's been a lot of trauma. There's also been a lot of folks looking at what they have done, what they should have done, what they could have done. People are talking about the future of art, the future of craft. They're talking about diversity, equity, all of those things. I've been pulled into think tanks, DEI meetings, all the different places where people are trying to figure out how to create a bigger, brighter, more inclusive future. And when people ask me what the future is of craft, what the future is of glass in our field, I point directly to Hilltop, and I just say very directly. The future of making, the future of glass, the future of craft is what's happening at Hilltop Artist. It's true. It's the culture that we live in. It's the way that we work. It's knowing that your capacity, your potential is really tied to the people right next to you. But it's also the team. It's the people that understand that, to believe it, that live it, that study and work to put themselves in positions of gatekeepers that keep this stuff going. I was sitting with Dr. Kim yesterday watching the rehearsals, and there was a moment where she looked around and like people were on the floor organizing name tags and alphabetizing and organizing papers and placing pumpkins and placing centerpieces. There was so much work going on, and she just looked around and she was like, I can't believe all these people are working for this. And of course, I'm watching and looking and thinking, and I'm like, of course they're working for this. Of course they are. It's their pleasure. It's our pleasure, and it's your pleasure. We all have a job to do. And I made the joke, they can organize and do all that stuff, but they don't have to give up their cell phone number. That's the job of an ED. You're always available. You're always there. When it's time to go, you go. You come early, you stay late. And if it goes well, you can celebrate other people. If it goes badly, it's always your fault. So, that's the job. Everybody's got their job to do, and we all do it, and we do it gladly. It's our pleasure because we know how important this work is. So the future of craft, what does it look like? I think the future of craft looks like 100% high school graduation rate for Hilltop artists. The future of craft, it looks like 57% enrollment in post-secondary education. The future of craft, it looks like 100% of Hilltop alumni working, enrolled in college, are engaged in apprentice programs. Hilltop serves over 650 students every year, with the average annual cost per student coming in at about $2,500. These statistics are real, and it's on us to make sure that the program succeeds as a model for how we move young people forward. So in closing, I want to make sure that we're all on the same page about why it's important that we make our goal of raising $100,000 here today, and that everybody knows how to do it, okay? So you can give today by completing a pledge form or by scanning a QR code at the table at your table and donating online. Would all the table captains please, if you haven't already, pass out the pledge cards with QR codes on them. I want to make sure that you guys also pay special attention to the Marini Club monthly giving program. I know when I was running an organization, there were a couple of times a year where we really went after donations, but it's those monthly donations that really get it, guys. When you look up and you realize that like you have $125 donations and that you can actually pay people and hire people and do all of the work that's necessary to move these huge organizations forward, it's a ton of work. And it's admin, but it's also counseling. You're showing up for students, making sure that they have what they need. I've never in my entire life seen a craft program or an arts program wrap around and provide services to students in the way that Hilltop does. So like these students are unique, but this program is unique and there's nothing like it. And I can't say it enough. This is a model for how these programs should work. This is a model to other organizations around the country, and absolutely this is going to be the future of craft. So with your help, Hilltop Artists can continue providing vital programs to young people, investing in their creativity and compassion, and committing to stand with them as they reach for a bright future. Thank you guys so much for being here. I can't thank you enough. This was the greatest honor, and have a good rest of your day. Thank you.